Meech got that fire, boy.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Off the Post NHL podcast. I'm TJ. That's Mitch. And how are you feeling today, Mitch?
I don't want to talk about it, bro. The worst week of my life. The only thing I'm looking forward to is these fights tomorrow. It's the only thing that's getting me through it, man. What about you?
I really wish that we had our fallen soldier here again, but T's and P's to Jeffrey. He'll be back soon. But other than that, my team is in shambles, but at least
your team's in shambles.
Yeah, bro. We can get into that. How you somehow think the Leafs are in a worse position than the Capitals right now. But
we'll talk about it.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, so I'm doing all right, but at least the NHL has been providing us with some interesting games, some interesting, news and players. So yeah, let's get into it, bro.
Okay, I guess we'll start Monday. It kind of sucks because it's the Friday edition of the pod, so it's far away. But I am so fed up with this team right now. I've had it here. I feel like I've had just a moment, and I've realized what this team actually is, and they're just failures completely. You look at all their losses against the worst teams in the league. I got this from the SDP, and I have one trivia question for you before we get into this. All right?
Okay.
So within the last calendar year, the three worst teams in the league: Montreal, Buffalo, Arizona. Can you guess in 10 games, what is the Leafs record against them?
8-2.
Yeah, well, it's 1-8-1.
Oh, close enough.
3 of 20 points of the worst teams in the league.
That's very tough.
It's torture, dude. Man, I always used to be like, oh, the Leafs are so good. They just kind of choke up in the playoffs, but they're not, bro. They're not a good team. They lack the killer instinct. They play down to their opponents. When have the Leafs ever shown you that they are capable of being that team, capable of being that Stanley Cup team? When have they showed you it?
I haven't seen it.
And I was always just so blinded by my love for this team.
To be fair though, last playoffs was probably the best they've played in the playoffs, in the Matthews Marner era. But
yeah, it definitely is. And it is true that 3 of the 4 years or whatever the team they lost to went to go on to the finals. That is true, but at some point, when are you going to have the killer instinct? That's something that I don't think that's something that gets developed. You know what I mean? You can develop all your skills, but can you develop that mindset?
Yeah, it's tough.
I'm skipping ahead because we're gonna go back to the Arizona game, but it's just I'm talking. Since we're on the topic of mindset, you go to the Marner versus Keefe stuff in the interviews, where Keefe, did you have any problem with what Keefe said? Where our elite players weren't elite tonight. That's why we lost the game.
No issues, bro.
This should be something a coach can say. Obviously, you don't want to bash the guys personally, call anybody out personally. Even sometimes that's okay to me. But the fact that you go the next day and Marner's looking like a crybaby talking to the media, and then Keefe has to come back and retract his statements.
Yeah, that was pretty cringy.
Mitch is so soft, dude. You look at him in penalty box, he's basically tearing up against Montreal. And then say you look at Willie, right? Countless times has he been called out in the media by the coach, by the GM in the documentary. Keefe, oh, Willie's not good enough tonight. Willie's whatever. And Willie takes that and he gets better, right? I don't think Austin cares. He didn't sound like he cared, but Mitch, it literally seems like he knew Mitch's feelings were hurt, so he had to say something.
Yeah, it's a little tough because I remember too, Babcock and Mitch Marner kind of had beefs at times too. So it's okay, well, that's Babcock, you know what I mean? And Babcock's a hard ass coach. But now you got a kind of a players friendly coach, and he's just he's saying it like it is. You got to be better. Your best players win in this league, especially too on the Maple Leafs, which is kind of a roster that's assembled of our star sled dogs pulled away, and then we got like a bunch of good role players who do their part, but like we're pretty reliant on like our big dogs. So yeah, you didn't play well. He called you out. The fact that the coach has to retract the statement
It's
is tough.
embarrassing. It's
It
actually
is
it's
tough.
actually it's embarrassing. It makes the coach look bad. It makes the team look bad. It makes the
Yeah.
organization look bad. You know, was also the other quote that I hated from Marner in that same interview.
Hmm.
He was like, "Yeah, like you start slow something like it's in the beginning of the year," but he was like, "We're happy with where we're at." Really? You're happy with where you're at?
Really?
Are you serious? Getting outplayed by Arizona because you have no killer instinct?
Yeah.
And you know what Keith said? You probably didn't watch the interview because I watch all these interviews. But do you know what
Yeah.
Keith said was the turning point in the game?
What?
When the Leafs had the puck for 3 minutes straight and Arizona couldn't touch it. He said that shift where they were just completely dominant, had all the puck possession, Arizona couldn't touch them. He's like, yeah, lulled us to sleep. Imagine this team's problem is them being too good.
What? I don't even understand that.
Because they didn't really get like they completely dominated them in like every aspect of the offensive zone. They didn't really
But they
get too
didn't
many
get
shots off.
chances.
They didn't get chances, and he was like, "Yeah, lulled us to sleep." Like they figured it'd be like too easy from there, and then they go right back down to playing down to their opponents. The Arizona Coyotes are shutting out the Leafs. They're like clogging up the middle, can't get any shots off. Bro, it was like the end of the second, and the shots were like 11-11. Like, bro. And then you get into like the bad luck of things with that goal called back.
I know that was
You know that one,
insane.
right?
Morgan Riley.
Like, so they released the rules, right? And like by definition of the rules, even though I really don't like, I guess, like, sure, whatever, by the rule book, sure. But even though stick was in the glove, he hit his skate afterwards. They were both like tied up together, and the Mariners came and grabbed it. I still think that should have been good, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Salty Leafs fan, whatever. But
yeah,
the problem is the rules, man. Tell me what was Morgan Riley supposed to do there? A minute left, 45 seconds left. Puck's getting clear. Does he just let it go by?
no, he's got to
Yeah,
headbutt it, bro.
you can't use your stick.
He's got to
That's
headbutt it. Got to jump.
So
Got to take
you
it off the
gotta
teeth.
either gotta take it off the teeth. Like, are you serious? Like the NHL is such a bad product sometimes.
Well, like I guess the idea is that he's supposed to somehow like grab it with his hand and then push the guy that's on top of him away to get the puck, like literally the guy that's interfering with him. Because by definition of the rule, like he has to have possession next. You know what I mean? Blah
Yeah,
blah
you
blah.
have to like stick it down.
So
But like
so like
also
but
a stick's in my hand.
yeah, but also the guy sticks in my hand and I'm also being bodied off. So how am I really supposed to do that? So I think in that situation, it shouldn't be called a hand pass. Like maybe it should be something like if you block the puck down and like 3 seconds goes by or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just
Yeah.
considered a loose puck again
Agreed.
instead of being a hand pass. That could be a rule change. I don't know. It obviously this is rare. It's not going to happen too often, but in this situation, yeah, it was pretty chance.
And then it's like you see the stick in the hand, but apparently that's definitive enough to overturn the call made on the ice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It shouldn't have been definitive enough. Like
I think I'm honestly gonna take the stance of this team is literally decent until they show me they're good. Because I can't do it in true Leafs fashion. They get your hopes up every time, then they lose in the most embarrassing way.
yeah, I know.
The Leafs have not played a single good game of hockey so far this year. Not one game they were good.
You don't think
Not
so?
one. No. They were terrible in all their games. Well, not terrible, but they're terrible in two of them, but they weren't good. Even the Dallas game.
Yeah, they weren't insanely impressive against the Caps, but the sad thing is they played way better than the Caps. It's just that's how the Caps played.
And then you look at like talking about the Caps, like their power play against them and how dialed they were. That might have been the best power play sequence I've ever seen the Leafs play. Ever since then, nothing.
Died.
Do you know how many power plays the Leafs had last night against the Stars?
No, how many?
8.
What'd they go? 1 for
8.
1 for 8.
The one was Kerfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could technically count 2 because one of them, the power play just ended, and then bunting pass
Yeah.
it to Robertson, he scored. So you could technically say 2 for 8, but like
Still, even 2 for 8 isn't the best. I mean, 2 for 8 is like that's 25%. So I guess that's all right.
that's fine. But like 8 power plays and you're going to OT.
Yeah.
And we'll
You
get
hate to see
into
that.
we'll get into the Nick Robertson stuff, but like this team is just so unenjoyable right now. You know what I mean? Like I was so excited preseason, I was so excited, and then I was just like, you know what? We are not good.
Well, how do they fix themselves from like just like do you think there's no way to change the mindset of just playing down to your competition?
It's been a problem for how long now, and they still haven't done it.
Mhm.
Like, what do you like? I have no idea. I'm not a therapist. I don't know how the mind works. Like, but like you think they would have tried, right? It's been what 3-4 years now.
Do the guys
You know what
just
I mean?
not have that that dog in them? Like,
Apparently not.
I
Like
mean,
Matthews started slow last year, starting slow again. Last night I think he was good. He was blocking shots, he was getting in the corners, all that stuff. He just didn't score. Amazing setup to Robertson, but when is he going to start dominating, man?
yeah, I
I know
know.
this happened last year and he still scored 55 goals in 68 games. So I'm sure it's going to come, but like yeah, I don't know, man. Like like top line has completely disappointed me. Willie and Tavares look good, like say 65% of the time.
Yeah.
Bottom 6 has decent possession, but like I don't know, man. I'm stressed out. I'm
I
stressed out.
just I just wonder if it's just they need a guy that brings that leadership into the room that says this isn't good enough, you know what I mean? Because like you'd think that they should have somebody like that, but like I
Oh,
don't
you mean
really.
like you mean like a John Tavares, or you mean like a Jason Spezza, or you mean like a Mark
Yeah, but like you
Giordano?
think Captain Monotone is really coming in there, or like
What about
Geezer,
Jason Spezza? What about Wayne
Geezer,
Simmons? What
Geezer,
about Giordano?
Geezer, all these
What type of
geezers.
player do you want? Like those are like leadership players.
Yeah, but I need somebody who's going to be able to talk to Matthews and like, come on,
So
Matthews. Matthews
are you
needs to
get
be the one, bro.
are
Matthews
you
needs
get
to be the one.
are you getting like McDavid then? Like
No,
who?
I'm saying
Like
Matthews needs to come into the dressing room and be like savage Austin Matthews on Twitter and just be like, boys, this is fucking shit. Like, what's going on? Somebody's got to do it. Like, it just seems like it's like, okay, you just got dominated for a period. You have to come out this next period. You're way more talented than this team.
sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, but like the overall, but when they do, it's against good teams.
Well, yeah, it's only against good teams because
Never against the Coyotes, man.
it's almost like they get down on themselves. They're like, damn, we're not playing good. I guess this one's
And
just a
and
wash.
and I guarantee you saw the stat about the Coyotes, like when the last time they didn't get points in Toronto.
Yeah, it was like, what is it, 2006 or so, seven?
Yeah, 2002. We
Oh
were two
my
years
God.
old.
2002?
The last time they failed to register, they weren't even Arizona.
Yeah.
Phoenix Coyotes,
Phoenix Coyotes.
2002. Are you
That's
serious?
insane. That's insane. Well,
I can't do it.
yeah, I just don't know.
I guess we'll move on from the Leafs being bad to more Leaf stuff. Um, Going back to the Arizona game, Muzzin got hit up high or fell awkwardly, something like that, and it looks like there's a chance he might be out for a long time because
Yeah.
at one hand, um, he only got put on IR, which is like 10 days or something.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, Mitch Marner in interviews is talking like he's dead, where he's like, if he like he's literally used like ifs, like he's like if he comes back, like there's more important things than hockey. You have to be able to look after your family. Like he's saying this stuff, right?
What the
So it's
fuck?
like, how bad is it? Like he's had 3 concussions within the last year.
Really?
He's 34 years old. Looks like he's missing a step this year. Like I love Muzzin, and I thought he played amazing in playoffs. I think he was our best defenseman last playoffs, but like there's a chance where he might have to stop playing.
It's a Nick Backstrom situation. Maybe.
But with your head instead of your
Well, yeah, that's like did you hear Kasha got another concussion?
oh no.
Yeah, you didn't hear about this? This was like a week ago, I'm pretty
No, I
sure.
didn't.
He
I
got another
might have
concussion.
seen it. Oh no.
Yeah, so everyone was like, all right, man, enough's enough. Like,
No, like you gotta stop, man.
yeah, like that's
And like
insane.
I love Kasha, but he put himself in so many bad situations last year to get hit in the head.
It's crazy.
Like he's got that dog in him, man. But
T's
like
and P's for sure. Up to him. I hope he gets well
but
and you know, but
sending
yeah,
prayers
yeah, sending prayers and everything. But yeah, no,
to
I heard
Muzzin
that
as
and I was
well.
like, no, yeah, to Muzzin too, for sure.
But yeah, let's finish up on this Leaf stuff. Obviously, since Murray got sent on the IR, we touched on this last episode, I think, where Robertson, Simmons, and Mente got called up. Robertson played last night, and in my opinion, he was the best player on the ice.
Yeah. Against his brother versus the Dallas Stars. They won 3
Nicky
to 2
Bobby,
in
he
overtime.
should. If they send him back to the AHL, I swear to God, and like I've seen all over Twitter where like people are like Dennis Malkin, he's been invisible since game one. You know what I mean? I don't know
Mhm.
if you how many games you've watched. No, you watched the Caps one, but like,
I probably watched 3, I would say.
and how many times did you notice Malkin?
Well, I mean, one of those 3 was the first one. So
But he didn't even do anything special. He
I
literally
know
went to the
he
net
just
and just
scored.
tapped it in.
Hey, right place, right time, bro. You can't dog that. But yes, no, he hasn't been super impressive to the point where one game of Robertson doing what he did, like that makes me instantly be like, all right, well, he's sticking it.
He
He's in
didn't.
for the long haul now.
He didn't just score 2 goals. He looked dominant on the forecheck. He
Yeah,
looked great. His feet looked great. Made
bro,
the
he
defensive
was their
play
best
to
offensive player, like period.
yeah, and he made the defensive play in OT,
Hmm.
both sides of the ice. Like to me, it's night and day. The one thing I would listen to is Engvall's start is also atrocious. He's like 5 games, 0 points, -3 or something.
Mm. So
And it's
maybe
just
a
like
Mulligan
maybe
swap.
put try Mulligan there, or I don't know.
Who would he be playing
Robertson,
with then? It would be Kerfoot, and
it would be Mulligan, Kerfoot, and Yarncroke.
that's kind of interesting. Like
Brings more speed to the line.
brings
I
more
mean,
speed to the line with,
Engvall's
and like a
fast,
guy
but
who can set up for Yarn Croak as well with along with Kerfoot. That could be interesting.
like I don't think Keith will ever do it. Like Hall and Engvall are his toys.
Yeah,
Like he
there's the
just,
coaches guys.
but it's just like Hall's terrible.
Hmm.
Engvall, he can be great, but he can also be terrible.
I
I
wonder
swear to
like
God, he forgets he's 6'5".
I wonder how much like all this stuff about just like with Keith and Marner and just like all that whole situation like yeah, I just wonder how it all pans out. I like they can't,
Probably in the Leafs losing the first round again.
but then he's
Probably.
gone. Then he's gone,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yep.
It's
Him and
like you
Dubas.
can't, like we talked about, we can't really get rid of Dubas, even if they do
Yeah,
lose in round one.
this is giving me like
Or could you,
early
bro?
Leafs. You could. Like I know I came on here like at the
Like,
start of the
because you
podcast
could
and I was like,
also
no,
just
you can't do it. But
yeah, but you could just be Shanahan and be like, look, man, like
Shanahan needs to go too, man.
you
If
think the
they lose
Shanahan plan's
again,
over too?
if the, he's
It's
been here
everybody.
longer than Dubas,
I know
man.
he has.
He's allowing Dubas to do the things he's doing. If Dubas is going, Shanahan needs to go too.
It's just a full turn. Then like the Leafs like
Yeah.
ownership needs to go to Matthews and say, listen, we are giving you the mega bag. Just let us change up the management, please.
Literally let Matthews do the fucking interviews for all I care.
Yeah, honestly.
Like
That's a real thing though in like other sports too. Like, like LeBron's gonna be part of the decision for, like your star player is a part of the like process of hiring.
But like, here's the thing that I get caught up on myself with. I
Hmm.
know that say the Leafs lose again and they fire Keefe, they fire Dubas, right?
Yeah.
I know the teams they go to, they're gonna have success. I
Hmm.
know it. But like this Leaf team is literally like so cursed. You need like a special breed to take care of them. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you let Dubas walk. He next thing you know, the next 5 years, he's won 3 cups.
Hmm.
Like I don't know, man.
Hmm.
I'm
Who do the
just
Leafs got on Saturday? Winnipeg?
Jets. and Wayne Simmons is drawing in the lineup because the Jets are usually a bloodbath with the Leafs.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to watch for sure, without a
There's
doubt.
nothing
But
better than beating the Leafs,
I hope that the Leafs play well and maybe give you a little bit more hope, but I'm not expecting
Please.
too much right now. So moving on, I kind of want to talk about just overall. Let's get a general scope of the league. Let's talk about the league leaders. And while we're talking about the Leafs, do you know who's leading the league in wins, or at least is tied for the league lead in wins?
Flyers.
No, bro. In terms of goalies.
Oh, in terms of goalies.
Mm-hmm. League leaders in wins.
Samson. I don't
He's
know.
tied for first, bro,
Yeah.
with 3 wins. Him, Hart. There's a bunch of guys. Hart, Allmark, Yari, Shishirkin, and Ottinger. So shouts out to him. But yeah, how have you thought about Samsonov's
Bro,
performance
I
thus far?
loved him. Like he's
And I mean,
literally.
I was saying like, oh, I don't know how consistent he can be. So far, like, ain't no complaints. He's been
Well, I mean,
fairly consistent.
it's 3 games, but like
Yeah.
the saves he's made in the last 2 games he's played has kept us in it.
I think
And
he's
like,
definitely improved so far since the season's gone on. Like he had a couple like in the Montreal and in the Washington game that were just kind of like super weak ones, and he's starting to just clean it up a bit more.
but like the thing is like he already has a 927 save percentage, but in his last 2 games there were like 2 fluke goals.
Mhm.
Dallas, the one where he gets pushed, like sure, argue whatever. Marner was already going into it, but Sagan's hand was on his shoulder, and then the puck flew in. So
Yeah.
fluky. And then the other one, the guy like it was like right beside his glove. He thought he had it, and then the guy just tapped it in.
Mhm.
So it could be he could have a 930 right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like obviously it's only 3 games.
Small
but, like,
sample size.
I'm
Like,
I'm not shitting my pants when I see him in net. I'm like, okay, let's
you're more
go.
concerned about other parts of the team, which honestly going into this year would have been shocking to hear. So you want to talk about some other goalie stats? We can get into this. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. No, you said Saros, but I think you also said that this was a sneaky Vesna candidate, was Jake Ottinger.
I didn't
And
say
Jake,
that. No,
I don't know
that
who
wasn't
said
me.
it. I feel like somebody did. But Jake
Okay, it
Ottinger,
wasn't me, but
he's got a 1.0 goals against average so far this season, leading the league. He's been balling out. He also has 3 wins and a 966 save percentage so far. So again, small sample sizes are small sample sizes, but he has been
he was a
dominant.
dog. He was a dog in the playoffs, though.
Yeah.
Like, did he just turn it on?
Well, he turned it on like last season, and then in the playoffs, he got shelled by the fucking Flames.
He didn't
Right?
get shelled. No, he was amazing.
Did they win that series? No,
No,
they
they
lost.
lost, but
Oh, that's right.
Ottinger was
No, I remember.
outstanding.
No, I remember now. I remember people saying that he should have got series MVP even in a loss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No, I
he
do
was
remember that.
so
So
good,
he's just
bro.
kept it going, bro.
I mean, all respect to the guy. I like him.
Another
So
guy towards the top, Elias
just glad
Samsonov with a 196.
yeah.
Let's go.
What
But
else we got?
there's only been 2 shutouts this year, and they're kind of
Okay.
interesting. One of them, because you texted me about it. Can you remember which it was? It was, I believe, one of the first games of the season, early on in the season.
I texted you about it.
Yeah, he's on one of your favorite teams. That's not the Leafs.
I'm pulling a blank here. What is it?
Logan Thompson of the
Oh,
Vegas
there it
Golden Knights.
is. There it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. You were sending me some texts about it, getting pretty hyped.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
another one is Billy Husso. Husso has a
Right.
shutout as well for the Detroit Red Wings, but only 2, which kind of makes sense because if you look at some of these scores, it's 7-5. Like we've seen some pretty wild scores as of late. Like a lot of teams are scoring like 5+ goals consistently, which is
Even the Islanders are doing it.
even the Islanders, bro. Which
But bro,
we'll get into all the surprises. I want to talk about some surprises in terms of the standings and stuff.
I have
But
a player surprise.
okay, tell
Stat
me a player
wise.
surprise, stat
Your
wise.
boy, your homeboy, Igor Shesterkin has a 901 in 4 games.
I know. And the crazy thing is that they're still like winning a bunch because they score so many freaking goals.
Yeah, like the Leafs, but actually good.
Yeah, the Leafs, but like their stars are stars because they're very much unlike the Leafs. Artemi Panarin is leading the league with 11 points. So when your stars are stars, it helps you
I
win
mean,
games.
the Stars were stars, and like I think Marner led the league from like January to finish. But
No, I'm just, dude, I'm saying for this season. What are you talking
yeah,
about, January? I don't care about last season. What do you mean? They got to step up now, Marner. Keith's calling you out. Don't cry.
yeah,
It's
no, he's gonna
time.
cry, bro. He's gonna shell. He's like, I'm okay with this. I'm
Yeah,
getting paid $11 million to lose in the first round every
yeah.
year.
This
I'm
is
fine.
this is what I do. Some
This is
other
what
some other big notables is Connor McDavid obviously is balling that. He's got 10 points. Uh Two guys that I want to touch on are Zuccarello and Kaprizov, who their team is
right.
down bad, but they both got 8 points. They're doing pretty well. And then another guy that I mentioned to you earlier before the pod. I'm just kind of picking random guys on the league leaders in points, but Rasmus Dahlin, eh? Has he finally kind of rounded into form? Like we can touch on this for a little bit,
Well,
but
I mean, here's the thing, bro. Go look at his stats. He was never not good. He was just on the Sabres.
yeah, and it's funny. It's funny how winning really changes your perspective of a player. Like,
Yeah.
and and it's crazy how like there's some good players that just never do get that recognition. You know what I mean? Like you could have a dominant season in terms of like Rasmus Dahlin, but let's say the Sabres were like not a very good team. It's like, oh, they're not even gonna look at him for like Norris or nothing like that. But if the Sabres are a good team and he keeps, playing well, you never know. But I think Cale Makar might actually win the Norris for the next 12 years because that guy is
Yeah.
a phenom.
100%.
He's
But
probably gonna win it for like a couple years, and then they're gonna start doing the treatment where it's like, all right, oh, we have to invent a storyline here to give it to someone else because like this is boring.
which is what the league does. It's just
Oh yeah,
quite frankly what they do,
I
which is
like
dumb.
I can remember like just the amount of like dominant seasons that certain guys have had. Like I remember Carlson, like I don't even think he won a back-to-back, but there was like definitely like a 4-year stretch where like he was like putting up like 80-90 point seasons, just beasting. And I think he won one or maybe two Norrises in his whole career. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't know if we're getting into overreaction season here, but are the Sabres actually nasty?
And that's kind of where I wanted to go, is like some big surprises in terms of like good teams. The Sabres are definitely near the top of that list.
Like, bro, they're 3-1. Their goaltenders are playing good. They're getting goal support.
Like all in all, they look like such a well-rounded team. Like we kind of just touched on Darlene, but also that guy that everyone was like dogging that they paid like 4 million to or whatever, Samuelson.
Yeah, right.
Like they're a really good top pairing, those two. Like it's like
And
he's a
Owen
good
Power.
he's a really good fit too with what Darlene does, and Owen Power, like the way that guy can skate for the size that he is, it looks unnatural. Like he's such a good skater and he's so quick on his feet for being that big. But yeah, like a lot of these guys coming out of college, man, they've looked impressive like straight away. Like another guy, for example, is like a Zegras and uh like Caulfield. I mean, he kind of was like hit and miss. He was really good when he first came in, and then the
Yeah.
second year was when he started to falter. But yeah, the college route is actually like proving to be pretty valuable to just take that extra year to play with like
Yeah, man.
guys after you're drafted.
And then you don't have to like stay in like the OHL. Like I'm sure if they
Yeah,
could, the
and then you
Seattle would
can
want to send right to the AHL, but they can't.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
like they have to keep them, and it just kind of gives them also when the season ends, like for example, last year, Matty Beniers, the Michigan season ends and he comes up and plays the last 10 games of the season and is pretty well point per game, if not point per game.
And doing
So
great this year.
exactly. So it's a good route. Yeah. But you want to touch on some other teams that have kind of surprised you in terms of how good they've been?
I mean, I feel like they're gonna fall off, but I'm surprised the Flyers aren't 0-4. I think
Exactly.
we've already touched on this.
Yeah, we did touch on this. Tortorella might just have
Honestly,
them like kicked into another gear at the moment.
Dallas, I surprised a bit on Dallas. I think Tyler Seguin's having a better season, even though they just lost to the Leafs last night, but they were 3-0. The biggest one for me,
now.
I think the biggest one for me right now is not good, it's bad. Vancouver Canucks. They blew another lead last night.
I know. They can't help themselves.
That's 4 straight games where they've gotten a multi-goal lead and blew it.
Yeah. And we can kind of touch on quickly because I am your resident Caps fan. That Caps game, I felt so down bad when they went up, like I think it was 4-2 at one point. I was like because the Caps previous were not playing well either, like our last previous games leading up to that one. I was like, God damn it, like Ovechkin like scores early, like we're playing well, and then just the wheels fall off and we're down 4-2. And then all of a sudden, I think Connor Sheary scored one, and I was like, okay, let's go. And then Lars got one, and then Strome got one, and then Ovi got one. I was like, well, that was super fast. Like I think it was literally the span of the end of the second period, and then like 4 minutes into the third, we scored like bang, bang, bang. So they're just like, notorious, bro. They're notorious.
But here's the thing. They're not bad. They are literally. I don't know if Mikheyev took part of the Leafs' curse and just placed it on the Canucks, but it's all up here, bro. If they were bad, they wouldn't have been getting these leads to start with consistently. They're just
I've already heard talk about like, is Bruce Boudreau just like not having these players disciplined enough? Like, is it time to look for like?
I don't think so.
I saw one article that I saw was like, I believe the title was, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting who published it. Like, shouts out to you, but it was like, is it time for Barry Trotz in Vancouver? Like, get him on the phone and get him in.
Give me Barry Trotz to the Leafs, please.
Yeah, but, you wish, bro. You wish.
But no, bro, it's obviously it's an overreaction season because it's the start of the year. If this
we're 4 or 5 games in, but
if this was February, it'd still be a big deal, but like it wouldn't be nearly as talked about.
No,
because like it's whatever. They're gonna snap out of it. Like I said, it's all mental. Like they're they're a decent team at the least. Like I feel like they're decently good.
I feel like the only I just can't believe like Thatcher's been getting kind of lit up as much as he has, but also their defense has been terrible as well. Their offense hasn't even been the worst. Like they've scored some goals and like they're getting the leads and then they're just choking it. But I'm saying their offensive game hasn't been bad. That doesn't mean that their offensive players haven't been playing horrendous defense. You know what I mean? It's just like it's the little things. It's the turnovers that just lead to like it was the turnovers that killed them against the Caps. They just started giving us the puck like all the time.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like I don't
the little things. They just need to be a more disciplined team. And can Bruce get them kicking? I hope. But
Canucks fans, you'll be okay.
Definitely Bruce. There it isn't lately. No, there it is not.
It's oops. There it is.
Oops.
There it is.
Oh god.
There was a prop. There was literally a prop for last night's game against the Canucks called "Oops, there it is" for the Canucks to blow another multi-goal lead. They did it.
No way. How much did that pay? I bet it paid all right.
I think it paid like 2 or 3 times X.
No way. Another shocker that we kind of touched on quickly was Minnesota. It's not off to a hot start, and like we said, it's overreaction season. But they've also gotten like lit up in some of these games. So letting go of Cam Talbot, was that smart?
I mean, he's injured, but yeah.
I know he's injured, but like you know.
I remember my rankings. I don't remember like the playoff teams I had, but I'm pretty sure I had the Wild out of the playoffs. So I'm not too surprised.
Yeah, I think you did because you were high on Nashville.
Their buyouts were like they're just screwed. I think they have them for what, like 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're locked into.
I'm surprised they've been as bad as they have been, but like
it's not as much like how bad they've been. It's been more so like you give up 7 goals to the Rangers, you give up 7 goals to the Kings, you give up 6 goals to the Avalanche. Like that's awful hockey. Like
yeah.
So no, it's not even that their record, oh my god, it's 4 games in and the record's bad. It's no, they're getting fucking shelled. So that's kind of the issue with it. Like,
but like I have to look at the standings, but like even my Nashville prediction, they're not looking great.
No, they're 2-3-1, which isn't the best, but they are right now the third best team because this division is just not good right now. The Central,
Yeah,
but
the
it's
Oilers
early.
are the Oilers aren't doing as good either. I think what are they
No,
2-2 now?
2-2.
Two, 2-2. Yeah, I thought they
Yeah,
were gonna come out flying. What are the
you did
Flames at?
call you did call Vegas though.
Yeah, man, I told you.
Vegas is 4-1. The Flames are 3-1, and I think those two teams have been some of the most impressive in the Western Conference so far.
Agreed. Even though the
Like
sad part is Phil Kessel hasn't been able to get going yet.
I know, but like the Flames they've looked really good. Like Kadri joining that team has been a nice like addition, and we kind of said this like, what was Florida really thinking? Like Uyghur, Huberto, it added a lot of depth to that team, even despite losing Monahan and Goudreau. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no,
Monahan,
100%.
Goudreau, Kachuk, they have like a wealth of depth. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the West isn't looking great right now.
Mhm. Yeah, if you had to pick, if you had to pick right now overall, I'm going to read you the bottom five teams. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's not going to stay this way. Who would you want most to get Bedard?
Okay.
San Jose,
All right.
Vancouver,
All right.
Minnesota, Arizona, or Tampa Bay?
Just give me Tampa, man. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
That would
you
be
can't do that.
atrocious. Could you
You can't do
imagine?
that.
Is it bad that I kind of want him to go to Arizona? Actually,
I
no, I
I
don't. Then that just increases the Matthews chance. Never mind. No, I don't. I just thought about that.
true.
Can you repeat
I
them again? Sorry, the teams.
So San Jose, Vancouver,
Right.
Minnesota, Arizona, and Tampa.
Give me San Jose or Vancouver. One of those two.
Yeah. Yeah, I think San Jose would be cool just because like maybe it could kickstart it, like you know what I mean? Get them to be
Yeah.
a like because if they have a guy like Bedard, we'd watch them. Like we'd
100%.
tune in. So yeah, I feel like that's a good pick. Also, Vancouver would just be, I don't know. I don't really want him staying in Canada just due to the fact that I want to grow hockey. I always want hockey to grow, and I just feel like he's going to be such a phenom that he'll get eyes on him. But
Yeah.
if he were to go to Vancouver, that would be pretty cool just because, he's
Right.
from Western Canada. So all right,
Sure.
all right. You got anything else that you want to touch on in terms of surprises, or are you good to move on to some kind of injury reports?
No, I'm good to move on. So I think
So
we should do the Landeskog one first.
that's what I was
He's out
thinking.
long term. Like
Yeah,
what? How many weeks was it?
I think it was it like I don't
Why am
want
I?
to I don't want
Why is
to
12 coming to my head?
I was gonna say I thought it was 8 to 12, like 2 months
12,
to 3
12
months.
weeks.
Wow,
12 weeks, man.
3 months.
Oh, that's bad.
He'll
And
be back for playoff time, and honestly, yes, it's bad, but I don't think it's gonna hurt them too much.
yeah, at least it's not like Rantanen, McKinnon,
That's what I
Carr.
was gonna
Like,
say. Like Nishushkin's played with McKinnon this year, and he's actually played really well.
yeah, Nutrition's good, man.
Mm-hmm. I
I don't
think
know.
he's got like 8 or 9 points already, man. Like he's balling, so he was a good addition for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if anybody were to sustain an injury, Colorado's probably one of the the better places, especially in terms of their forwards.
Just
So
sucks how it's that long.
yeah, that's just the only problem or the only sad thing is it's that long. But you also, you never know the implications of losing your leader for that long. Hopefully they don't lose their way without their captain, but I think they probably got a strong enough locker room with a Nathan McKinnon in there to keep everything going in the right direction. And
Yeah, for
Bednar's a
sure.
pretty good coach, so I'm not really too stressed about them.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
another injury that I am quite a bit stressed about is your Washington Capitals
Capitals.
because we're all Capitals fans really at heart. Your
Oh yeah.
Washington Capitals suffered an injury to Connor Brown. And the good news is we touched on it last pod. We signed Sonny Milano, who did not get in this
Right.
last game for Connor Brown. It was actually McMichael, which we kind of expected. Like Milano's kind of got to get going with the team, I'd assume, build a little bit more chemistry in practice. But I am intrigued to see if that's just the easy move is Milano going in there to play. But do you think they do that, Mitch? Do you think they put Milano on the first line with Ovechkin and
I I think it depends on
and
two
Kuzi.
things. One, how he looks in the A, and two, how McMichael looks, right? I feel like you
Right.
should give McMichael that chance. Do you not? Like
Yeah.
21 years old, same age
Yeah.
as like Robertson kind of thing.
Mhm.
How did he play the first game? Obviously, I didn't see it. Was
I
he
mean,
okay?
no, but in
He
his
wasn't.
defense,
It was his first game.
well, no, in his defense, none of us looked good. We
That's
looked
true.
good for a half a period in that Ottawa game. And then I think the shots we got 14 shots in the first period. They had 7. Then I think we had 5 and 6 in the second and third, and they had 22 and 15 in the next 2 periods.
Ooh,
Yeah, we got
y'all
murdered,
got
bro.
okay.
The shots were 44 to 20 something. And Darcy Kemper only let in 3 goals. He had a 939, and we lost 5-2 with 2 empty netters. But we looked bad all game. Like, oh, 3-2, 2 empty netters. That doesn't sound that bad. We scored 2 goals so fast into the first period and then let them steamroll us for the rest of the game. It was like the Caps have been super unimpressive, and that's why seeing Connor Brown go down, because he was one of the players that I mentioned
bright spots.
Was the bright spot, because honestly the top line has not been a bright spot, and him alone was the guy. It's like, thank God Connor Brown's in here, because he's getting into the corner, he's getting the puck, he's getting Ovi some shots. But besides that, it's like Ovi's not even getting like great chances. Like Kuzi's not really setting up great chances. And I mean, I want to touch on this while we're on the Caps topic, because we really can't avoid it for much longer, Mitchell. Kuznetsov Louisville Slugger action, but we'll get into that.
God.
We'll get into that.
I
but
forgot about that's how
yeah,
it sucks.
So this is what I'm saying.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So this is why I open up the podcast saying, yeah, you think the Leafs are bad. Like, I think the Leafs are actually, like, you said, oh, we're at least a decent team. Like, I'm worried that I don't know if the Caps are actually a playoff team, because the style of play that we're playing, we've been outshot almost every game. We always play a physical game, but it's not, for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's not clicking like it has in the past.
Yeah.
Like, we play this physical game that kind of literally like wears down every team. We play Matthews, we send the fourth line out against them, we wear him down. Then the next line comes out. Yeah. But then the next line comes out, and it's supposed to be, Mantha out there wearing out, the Willie line. But this season, it's just kind of been like, we have the fourth line who's looked good with Sheary. Sheary's got like four goals this year. The fourth line, Sheary, Dowd, and Hathaway. And besides that, I've been super unimpressed with all 3 other Caps lines. On defense, super unimpressed with John Carlson, Orlov, and TVR. Jensen and Gustafson are dogs.
I told you, man. I was looking at the
Jensen and Gustafson are dogs, bro. Like, Gustafson was a guy that like we were all questioning coming into this year, bro. Like, I think twice he got like the Caps, how every team has like their post-game celebration, whatever.
Yeah.
He got like the like he's whatever made like 2 great blocks on a penalty kill one game, and then the other game he got like a big goal where he like pinched up in the rush. So
right.
But yeah, he's looked good. But besides that, our defense stinks.
Did he get the rope or whatever that I saw?
Yeah, the rope.
Yeah, the rope.
Because we're all pulling the rope, bro. We're all pulling in the same direction.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I don't know
Backstrom with the Polaroid around his neck.
Yeah, I did.
He's like a fan.
I don't know what I was going on about having them first. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah, bro, I was kind of questioning it. I said,
you should have questioned me a bit harder. I don't know why I had them so high.
Well, because I was high. I was high as well on Connor Brown and Strome, and honestly, shouts out to Strome, because Strome's actually looked really good this year so far. Like, our second line has been hit and miss, but Strome on the power play has actually started to turn it around, and he's kind of like the only one creating anything. Like,
Ovi hasn't even system.
Yeah, Ovi hasn't even been getting his power play goals or like even much attempts. Like, it's just kind of like they're shutting that down hard this year, which they always try to do.
Took you long enough.
Well, they always try to do, but Backstrom's such a creative passer, it was kind of hard. But now it's just kind of like we're taking what's there for us.
I want to talk about that for a second, because you say that, but I don't think they really do, because I've seen so many, and he's just wide open. And then you look at Matthews on the power play, and they have 7 guys on him when there's only 4 guys supposed to be on the ice. And then everybody's like, "Oh, it's just Ovechkin. Just let him do his thing."
But it's not that they're like it's not that they're like they aren't covering, they're not bodying up on Ovechkin. They're more so just like Strome will have a pass lane to either, you know, uh Anthony Mantha or whoever it is, like at the time. Like our power play such in shambles because now we got, you know, Kuzi suspended. Like fucking
Talk about
Kuzi was
that in a second.
suspended last night, but yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I think it's just more so that they limit the same type of like passing lanes that used to be there, and they kind of are just
Right.
daring like Strome. You know what I mean? They're like, Strome,
Shoot.
you're open, you're wide open,
Shoot.
bro. And
Do
Strome's
it.
shooting, and like other guys are shooting too, because it's like we're just gonna like play the like we're gonna play like tight up to you, where
Yeah.
you can pass it this way or you can shoot. You're not gonna pass it to the Carlson Ovechkin side. You're not gonna do that because those are the guys who are gonna kill us.
Right.
So
See, what I've seen a lot of Caps Twitter going crazy about is Carlson. I see everybody hating on him.
no, he's been playing
How's
really
he?
bad this year, bro. Just defensively, he
Yeah.
just kind of he keeps like pinching into like he keeps pinching, which he's always done, right? He's always like a kind of a he's always been a two-way player, but like it seems like this season it's like is this guy just like getting older, getting a little slower? Because he'll pinch and then it's just like he just gets, or it's like he's pinching in inopportune times too, where it's just like, bro, you're pinching, but there's only like one other forward up and the other guys are changing. Like, what's going on? But
Yeah.
yeah, he's just putting himself in bad situations, and he's also like hanging Faravari out to dry, which is like, bro, that's our second year player who,
That's our
yeah,
boy.
he's been playing well, and honestly, he's been a bright spot on defense too. Those are
Yeah, I
my
was gonna
three
ask you
guys.
about him.
Yeah, those are my three guys. But also, it's like I think he might be a dash three or dash four because Carlson's fucking him. Like what's he supposed to do? It's a 2-on-1 every game. He has like two or three 2-on-1s that he has to go up against. And
Yeah, that is tough.
like it's like I love Faravari, but like yeah, he's getting cooked on those, which when there's this much talent in the league, that tends to happen.
But yeah,
There's our Caps rant. I just don't think the Caps are looking good, but I do think that there is potential for like answers. It really is going to take like we're overreacting and everything, but we need just some sort of chemistry. If
right.
let's say Milano comes in and he's helped spark Ovechkin and gets Ovechkin going on the right track, that would instantly change your team. Maybe on defense, like I would strongly consider playing Carlson less minutes. Like he shouldn't be that shouldn't be our clear cut 22 minutes per game line. You know what I mean? It really should
Yeah.
be like 19, 19, 19. Like there's no reason that Gustafson and TVR shouldn't be playing like just as much as them because they're on the same level right now. Like, you know what I mean? That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah. No, I guess.
Just kind of
Um,
like until you prove that you're going to play better, like why are we putting you out there for the extra ice time, the extra shifts against the tougher matchups when you're not playing the best? Yeah, Caps Twitter actually gets something right for once, question mark.
when are they?
Roasted.
They need to wait till Daddy Tom comes back.
And honestly, like I can scream it from the top of my lungs, but if you don't watch the Caps like consistently enough, you can feel it. Everyone just thinks of Tom as just being like the physical guy and stuff like that, but Tom is actually like he does have skill with the puck, and a big part of that is just him being able to have the strength to just like push past the defender, get into the zone, get it deep, and then look for his guys, look for OV, look for Kuzi, whatever. And
Yeah.
that dynamic is kind of what Connor Brown has, but it's just I don't know, it's not the same. The energy's not the same. And also like the leadership of our dressing room, the same way the Leafs we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Like think about the two pillars that we have out right now in terms of like steering the ship in the right direction, like
Backstrom
Tom
Tom,
and
right?
Backstrom. Like, are you kidding me? Especially like Tommy. Tommy's like I've said this. I don't know if I've said this on the pod, but once Ovi retires, if Tom has a deal that's going to keep him there for a while, he's the captain without
Yeah, I
question.
think so. I think
Without
so.
question, just because he's been there, he's been through the cup years, and he's just also like you watch the Caps like pre-game, post-game like things. He's the guy who has like the warm up with TJ Oshie, him and Ovi like scream at each other. Like he always used to like mess with Sammy, like when they would be like, you know, getting ready. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. The Caps are in a weird spot, bro.
Yeah, but let's get into this high stick or baseball swing by Kuznetsov.
So
what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on it are he definitely did not get enough games. Like the fact that he only got one game, and also the fact that it's like the argument being used is that he's a not a like repeat offender, which I get it, but it's also like you have to make the punishment fit the crime a little bit because it's like, yes, I've never done this before, but yes, I also did two-hand baseball, like a t-ball shot off the guy's head. But we kind of got into this. Me and Mitch were texting obviously during the game and after the game and everything. And one thing that we did say is when the guy doesn't get hurt, the league won't punish him the same way, which is kind of a dumb standard.
Stupid.
Mm-hmm. So I think he should have got more games, but I will also say that Burrows guy was throwing knee on knees on half the Caps players. Like that guy, I don't like that guy. But anyway.
Then you do something that's allowed in hockey, and you confetti gloves and you punch him in the face.
Yeah, but bro.
But you know what? An example just came to my mind.
Yeah.
Veteran, unsuspended throughout his entire career. Lots of games. First time suspension, suspended for 6 games. Jason Spezza.
Yep. Well, who did he slash?
He didn't. He needs someone in the face.
Oh, but that's right.
You remember, the guy was already. Like, I agree. I think he should have gotten that length. I'm not saying he should have, but when you're two-handing somebody in the face with a hockey stick, maybe a bit less, but like 3-4 games, maybe 5. Like
who did Spezza knee?
Neil Pionk, and he was hurt, so he got 6.
Wow.
Right. So like it's just like, and then Matthews getting 2. Which obviously could have gotten more too, but like the league needs to freaking go with their own precedents, man. Like they literally set something and then they're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna follow that. Here's one game.
Yeah, that was cool back then, but now this is the new vibe. One game. Yeah, I don't get it. I think he should have got more games, but yeah, Kuzi, obviously you can't do that. But like you said, you were like, oh. It's almost like there's a way to do it in hockey, blah, blah. Bro, we don't got our bodyguard, bro. You can't give him something. Give him. He's scared, bro. He needs 43 on his line.
Let me see the Protoss gloves going up.
Yeah, Protoss definitely needs to get into a fight at some point this season.
But dude, I don't know if you ever see them. I always laugh my ass because the NHL releases like these things where it's like explaining the suspension and like why they did it. Bro, they like at the end of it, like there's like some robot voice basically, but he's like, he shows the clip of the video and he just goes, in conclusion, this is high sticking.
Thanks, Tips. Thanks.
It's like, bro, and literally like the key points. Like they do like a key point slide, and it's literally like history, high sticking. That's it. Like you're the biggest joke of a league ever,
well, bro. He's only got one history, high sticking, and cocaine.
So I think we're good with that. Do you have anything else you would like to bring up?
I do. I have one last topic that I really wanted to get your input on.
I have 2 more after this. I have 2 more small ones too.
Okay. I got one bigger picture topic that I want to talk about.
All
right. So you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, right?
Right.
And what's something that they could probably use is like maybe like a top 4 defender.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of teams could use a top 4 defender. I feel like Tampa could use one. I feel like Edmonton could use one. I feel like there's a lot of teams that could use top 4 defenders right now, like a second line guy, which in turn, I'm thinking that some of these teams that are bad and might be selling guys, like they're going to get Brandon Hagel type deals because there might be 8 teams offering them like, oh, I'll give you a third. Oh, well, I'll give you a third and a fourth. Oh, I'll give you a second. And then the deal's going to just climb where it's like, now we're seeing, for example, let's say the Caps are really bad. We're seeing like a Dmitry Orlov go for like a second and a third round pick, which like in another world I would never predict. But it's like, these top 4 defense might actually be super valuable this year because I feel like a lot of teams need them.
I agree, but I also feel like Hagel got so much is because of his contract. The fact that he was making 1.3 and Tampa knew this is an asset who can play for 3 years, fit him under the cap, all that. I do agree, but that's also at some point, there's so many teams out of the Chychrun trade. Ottawa's out of it now, apparently.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you think he's the biggest commodity everyone's looking at?
This is what I'm saying, bro. Is I feel like it's just driving value up for guys that you wouldn't expect. Like Ottawa's out on the Chychrun thing, right? Well,
Right.
fuck. We were gonna offer these prospects and these picks for Chychrun. Why don't we just offer less than that, but we're still gonna give up 2 seconds and a third for Travis Sanheim because we need a top 4D. We're pushing, we're going for it. We're overpaying, but we want to land one of these guys. We don't want to be the one team that misses out. And that's the thing that I think will happen is the FOMO, the fear of missing out, the Edmonton Oilers being like, this is our year. This is our year. We're giving up a first round pick for a guy that's totally not worth a first round pick, but he'll make our team better. So let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely think you're on something.
That's what I just feel like. Just because I feel like I've listened to these other shows and stuff, and all these teams seem to feel like their biggest issue is not having 2 or 3 defenders that they can count on, and having 2 or 3 that are kind of interchangeable with other guys or they're not sure about.
Right. Yeah, okay. No, I think you're on something this year and last year, I think specifically is because people need to overpay because of the cap space, right? The league didn't go up. They're stuck in these contracts. They need retention, sometimes double retention. So it's spending season.
And that's what's going to happen too, is you're going to see a lot of these teams retain a bunch of cap too.
Exactly. And then get more assets for doing so.
Yeah. I use the example of a Travis Sanheim, who I think he did just get signed to a longer deal. So he's probably a bad example, but let's say a guy who's on a 3-year deal and he's on a team like Montreal or the Flyers, whatever. And then you can maybe finesse and just, retain half that salary for the 2-3 years because you're just in a rebuild state. And then it's all of a sudden you're getting first and second round picks for these defensemen that maybe 2-3 years ago wouldn't have been going for this much.
Yeah, I definitely think you're on to something there.
It's going to be interesting just because, I feel like a lot of teams feel like they might be close as well towards the top, and a lot of teams feel like they are so far out of it at the bottom that they're tanking for Bedard.
I think a lot it's closer than you think this year. I don't think there's really any standout clear teams right now.
No,
but we'll see.
Gun to my head, if you had to tell me, I think I kind of mentioned them. In my opinion, so far this season, the 2 standout teams to me that look like they might be able to really do some damage is Vegas and Calgary. And I didn't even go with one of my closet fandom teams. But
I was gonna say the Rangers, but also their goaltending hasn't been great.
That's the one thing is the Rangers. The Rangers have been allowing a lot of goals, and they're probably third on my list there. But those 2 teams, I've gotten to watch a few of them too. I feel like that kind of helps. I've the eye test. I've watched more of their games than maybe some other Eastern Conference teams. Just watching the Caps, the Leafs, etc. Just the teams that we need to for this podcast because we have allegiances there. But I've seen some of their games and they've looked really good so far. So those are my 2 kind of gun to my head if you had to make me choose. But other than that, man, what else do you want to talk about? Do we got anything else?
I do want to do a quick rundown of some pick'ems, buddy, because as you know, I went 6 for 8 on the Monday pick'em. So I want you to use your app because I don't have it up, and I want you to pull up the Saturday games.
All right, I got you with the Saturday games. 6 for 8, eh?
Yeah,
that's pretty solid. So, do you not want to do Friday's games tonight as well?
Can sure. How many games?
There's only 3 tonight, so.
Oh yeah, Saturday.
Tampa, Florida. Florida's at home. This is the battle of the state of Florida.
Here's the thing. Florida's probably pissed because Tampa always beats them in the playoffs. Tampa's also been bad. I think Tampa takes it.
All right. Give me Florida. Right. Detroit, Chicago. Chicago's at home. Really? Because I was like, really, Peter Mrazek's in that, bro. I'm going Detroit. Seattle versus Colorado in Seattle.
Seattle versus Colorado. I
Or
bet
sorry,
Seattle last
in
time.
Colorado. Sorry,
Yeah,
in Colorado.
I bet Seattle last time and then lost. So
yeah, I'm gonna go Colorado as well.
all
right, bro.
So,
moving on to Saturday. 1:00. The San Jose Sharks play the New Jersey Devils.
New Jersey's been terrible. Like I think it would be the biggest meme if San Jose won, but I'll go New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm going New Jersey too. Another 1:00 game. The Bruins are playing the Wild. Wild bounce back?
No,
Bruins. I'm going Bruins too. 4:00. St. Louis plays Edmonton.
St. Louis, Edmonton. I think St. Louis takes that.
I'll take Edmonton. Let's go, Jack Campbell. Arizona, Ottawa.
Ottawa, they're on fire.
Yeah, for sure. Pittsburgh, Columbus.
I'll go Columbus.
Ooh. I'm going Pittsburgh, bro.
Okay.
You got Tristan Yarry. You got Sidney Crosby. Come on. New York Islanders versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. Tampa's playing a back-to-back here.
Islanders have been nasty recently.
I like the Islanders too, and especially because it's probably going to be Brian Elliott, or it could be Vasilevsky for that one. I'm not really sure who's playing which one, but yeah, I think I'm going the Islanders as well. The Dallas Stars are playing the Montreal Canadiens.
Give me Montreal.
Wow. I was going to say after this pick, dude, I was about to say after this pick, we're not really going very different because a lot of these games feel like slam dunks. Thank you for doing that because I will hammer the Stars.
I want to be different. I said Pittsburgh was going to crush them and Montreal won. So you never know.
Tampa Bay, or sorry. Toronto versus Winnipeg. Winnipeg is at home.
I think Toronto wins.
I'm taking Winnipeg because why not? The Flyers are playing the Predators. The Predators are at home.
Give me the Preds. I'm hammering the Preds.
I'm hammering the Flyers, bro.
All right.
Carter Hart's undefeated, 3-0. Tortorella undefeated. Actually, he has one loss, but he's undefeated in our hearts. So going Tortorella.
I'm sticking to my beliefs. I'm hammering the Preds.
All right. Colorado versus Vegas. Vegas is at home.
Give me Vegas.
Back-to-back for Colorado as well. I'm taking Vegas. Calgary versus Carolina. Calgary's at home.
Carolina's been another good team, I think, right?
Yeah, they're another one that's up there.
You said Calgary, Carolina.
Mm-hmm. What a game!
Let's go Calgary.
I kind of might want to watch that game tomorrow. Hey,
we can run through that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. Buffalo versus Vancouver is our last game.
I think Buffalo has to fall off eventually, even though it's only 3-4 games into the season. I think Vancouver finally does it and they win this one.
Craig Anderson. That's my only thing I'm going to say about that one. Buffalo. All right, bro. That's all for the pick'ems for this week. Did you not say you had one more thing that you wanted to?
I do. And it's another set of pick'ems. UFC 280 tomorrow. Let's run the pick'ems for 280.
Okay, let's go.
But here's the thing. Now that I'm looking at these names, obviously I know the last 3 fights. I do not know how to pronounce these names, man. So we're just gonna
give it your best, bro. It's okay. Just do your best. Pick some key fights that people know. Some NHL fans would know.
Well, let's do the top 3 because those are the biggest names. So yeah, let's go. Obviously not. So I'll let you choose first, and then I'll make my pick. All right. Peter Yan, Sean O'Malley. Let's hear it.
I'm going Sean, bro. You gotta go Sean. Sugar Sean.
I'm taking Sean too, but I'm scared. I'm scared. Aljamain Sterling or TJ Dillashaw.
I'm gonna go Sterling.
Okay, I'm going Dillashaw. Good.
All right.
I think Dillashaw gets her done. And then the big one, Charles Oliveira versus Islam Makhachev or whatever you say.
I think it's Makhachev, yeah. This one's tough, man. I might go. I'll go Charles Oliveira.
Dang. Because I'm going Islam. Let's go.
You're You're going with them?
Islam,
All right.
Dillashaw, O'Malley, my 3 picks.
Let's see. All right. So mine were Sterling, O'Malley, and Oliviera.
Yeah. So
So
there it is. We'll come back with the picks on Monday and see how we.
yeah, we'll definitely we'll do a review. Hey, maybe even if we got enough to talk about, we could do a 20-minute dedicated review podcast to the actual UFC. Comment down below if you would actually want to hear that. We'll
Right.
if we get a comment or two about it, maybe we'll actually do it. But all right, so I just want to say this one thing, bro. We didn't talk about this, and I can't believe we didn't talk about this. We're an NHL podcast. What are we doing? What are we seriously doing? You see that jersey back there?
Oh, right.
You see this jersey right here? Do you see it over here?
Right, yes.
This is a reverse retro. And let me tell you, the new version of it is way more fire. So
yeah, it's way better.
Tell the people what we're gonna do, Mitch.
So coming up, might even be before this podcast gets posted, who knows, but we are doing a reverse retro tier list. We have to. With TJ's brother, we're ranking all the jerseys, and we're going to be brutally honest, but I think that can give you a hint of where the Cavs jerseys are going.
Yep. So make sure you stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. We're going to be posting that. Yeah, I don't know if it'll go up before or after. We'll have to decide, but it's going up very shortly after this episode. So if you're watching this, make sure you go check that out. But I think that's all for today, Mitch.
All right, perfect.
If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe, share it with a friend, hit the bell. As always, we also post these on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Make sure you follow there, like it, subscribe, and we'll be seeing you next time.